Hey guys, back again. It's been ages since my last video update. Like, life has just been insane. Obviously with everything that's going on in the world, things have just been a bit crazy. My industry's been affected, so yeah, different things have taken priority, but I'm back and I thought I'd start with a little update on my TMC Reef habitat. It's been up and running for like 10 months now, so it'll be really interesting for me to show you everything that's worked, things that haven't worked so far. And then I'm planning a bit of an upgrade on this tank as well, which I'm going to do in a couple of days time. So yeah, so loads and loads to show you, so let's have a look. Okay, so here we go. It's looking really good. I've got to say, the build quality of this tank, I mean, it's well, over 10 months old now, and yeah, it's held up really well. Still nice and shiny like the day that I took it out of the box. What I have done is I've added one of these Jerboa pumps just at the back there, just a cheapie, just to get a little bit more flow going on in the tank. Because as you can see, I've added loads of LPS corals. I've got a massive elegance coral which I took out of my other tank, which is just here, and he is just huge, taking up the whole back there. I've been chopping around a few things, so I've got a few heads of torch there, and then I took out my bubble tip anemones from the main tank, so I've got one big one there. There's a clownfish. He was, or she I should say, was in quarantine in my other tank, or in prison, because it was a bit aggressive, because it was laying lots of eggs. So I've popped her in here along with a little one that I had. He was sort of on his own, and they sort of paired up quite nicely, and they've got, as you can see, little anemone each, which yeah, they love. They snuggle up late at night, which is really cute. These flower pots are doing really well in here, like they just look amazing. There's one here, there's a small red one here which was only a couple of heads when I bought it, and then there's this one here next to it, which again is doing really well again, which was just a little one. I've got a little hammer there, and then another one next to it. These are just ones that I've taken off. This one here is just a bit closed up at the moment, but they've got really nice coloration to them. Actually, this bubble tip, even when you look inside, it's got some really nice striations through it, which I hadn't really noticed in the other tank before. We've got some pallies here, these big pallies here. I love these ones, again just ones that I took out of the other tank. I've also got a nice little bit of turf algae growing at the bottom, but I've got all sorts. I've got the pipefish and other little fish in here that enjoy nibbling on little microfauna and stuff, so I don't actually mind the turf algae. I kind of feel like it's somewhere for all the little insects, well, not insects, little sea things to hide, so they've got like all pods and things. I've had a massive outbreak of aptasia that I've been trying to attack, so a lot of these mushrooms and things here you can see have all shriveled up, and that's because they've been being stung by aptasia. So yeah, trying to get them out is a bit of a bugger. And you can see I've actually got a filefish in here somewhere, an aptasia eating filefish, and he's meant to be eating the aptasia, but clearly isn't doing a very good job at the moment. What else have I got in here? I've got this little bubbly mushroom here, which has got a few little, if I can get it to focus, oh there we go, it's got a few little bubbly bits on it. Yeah, really nice. I've got these Superman mushrooms. I've got this really nice, it's a Madagascan toadstool. It's got really bright green mouths, which are just really pretty, and when the flow's back on, they do extend quite a way, which is nice. These have just got a massive, these Duncans, they're like massive mouths on them. I've got some furry mushrooms at the back there, some furry green ones, and then I've got these really nice little mushrooms here, which are doing really well. And then for the beady-eyed among you, you will see that I have 2 orange spot filefish. Oh look, there's the other filefish. This is the one that's meant to be eating the Aptasia, but then the orange spot ones, which are hiding now because they've gone camera shy, which I'll put in some video of them. Oh, there's one. They are just the most beautiful fish I've ever owned, I've got to say. They actually look like unicorns. They've got this little spike, this yellow spike that sticks up, and they are just so cute. They're a couple or a pair. They don't leave each other's side, so wherever there's one you'll see the other, which is lovely. They eat frozen food really happily, just enriched, and what I'm doing is, because they are coralivores, so they are not a fish to really put in a reef tank, but they mainly eat things like Acropora, Montes, Milliporas. Most, if it's expensive, they probably eat it. So what I'm doing is, because I've got quite a few, well, I've been fragging like crazy, so I'm just giving them the odd little bit of Monty and acro that I've sort of got spare, just to sort of make sure they're getting everything they need in their diet. But they are literally pigs. I've had them a few weeks now, and like, they just settled in instantly. I thought they were going to be an absolute nightmare, but actually, despite appearances, they are always at the front of the tank. I really, for me personally, it's well worth the sacrifice of a few SPS just to keep these guys. They've tasted a few of the LPS, like I've seen them actually like pick at them a little bit, but to be honest, you know, I wasn't too bothered really, and they see, you know, everything seems fine. I was going to say, like, I've seen them nibble at these Duncans, but the Duncans don't even seem too bothered, and actually they've opened up. I'm keeping them very, very well fed, so maybe that's part of it. They're even eating, what I've done is I've ground up some pellet food and I've put it in an auto feeder, and they're even munching on that as well, definitely trying it. But yeah, well worth this. Well, I wouldn't, you know, put them in my main tank, but they are just, well, they're just gorgeous. I'm in love with them. Yeah, and a few other things I've got going on is I've got lots of sponges growing. Considering this rock was, you know, man-made eco rock, like the amount of life, I mean, literally 10 months on, and it's just teeming with sponges and all sorts of microfauna. It's just absolutely incredible. Like, I've got loads of like some purple sponge growing up through the bottom there, and yes, like I say, there is like a fair amount of turf algae back in there. Oh, and a nice bit of Aptasia, but all in all, everything seems to be doing really well. Alright, so now let's have a little look under the under the stand in the sump. I've added my Senai there just so I can keep an eye on the temperature. I haven't even got a slide in it to look at the pH or anything, but I should probably invest in some of them. My TMC optical water sensor, which does my auto top up, has been perfect. It's not, you know, it's never not worked, which is brilliant. Return pump's been great. What I've had to do with the skimmer here, you can see I've bought one of these little acrylic stands just to raise the skimmer up somewhat. I found it was actually too efficient and it was producing way too much skimmate. You know, you can control the pump as well and you can really turn it down, but as you can see, just by raising it up, for me, for this tank, it just balances it right there on the edge. I mean, I'm still in love with the swabby in the cup, so you can clean the neck. Maybe that makes it really efficient. But what was happening was I was having to empty it like every day at one stage, and it was too much, and it wasn't actually like that gross, which sounds a bit stupid, but I quite like running them quite dry. So just by raising it up a few inches has made all the difference, and it just means, for me, it just works a little bit better, and it just means I'm not emptying it like every day. but maybe because I'm not emptying it every day, that means I've got more nutrients, I don't know. I'm running it basically just on water changes. So I was putting all for Reef in, it was great, and obviously allowed me to do less water changes, but now I just do 20 litres every Sunday, and that's it really. I've turned off the UV, I've just sort of unplumbed it for now. I'm not running anything else. I've taken off the reactor. I just didn't need it. Everything seems to be better without any like GFO or rower force or carbon or anything like that. Yeah, it seems to just be quite stable really, just on a couple of water changes. So yeah, well, I say a couple of water changes, just on one water change a week. So yeah, just 20 litres every Sunday, most Sundays as long as I don't forget, and then just a little wipe of the glass. The other thing I haven't had any problem with is the light. Everything seems to be growing really well. This is a chalice, which is still LPS, but you know, it's happy as Larry. It's as you can see, it's got a big new sort of rim growing around it and stuff. It was a tiny little bit that I put in there, and that seems to be doing fine. The acros and the Montes that I put in here are purely for these guys, so yeah, so they're just not going to do very well because they're going to get eaten. But yeah, all in all, I'm really happy. Like, the light, absolutely fine. I know there's been lots of debate about this light, but I've set it once. I've set it to one of their presets. I think it's like Madagascar or Indonesia. It's something, just a real basic setting. And yeah, I've not changed it since I've put it on. Like I say, I've got the Eheim auto feeder that I've just plonked on there for now, and then I've just got my little controllers there all at the back, but I've ripped one off because that was for the, I think that was for the what's it called, for the reactor, and so I just whipped that one off. Better plug that back in. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, it's all doing really well. I'd like to actually fill this one up with feather duster worms, because they've got quite a few just naturally in there and they don't seem to be being picked off by anything. So yeah, all in all, it's doing really well. Yeah, alright guys, so that was just a super quick update on the TMC reef habitat that I've got in my bedroom, just to sort of let you know that I'm still alive, and the tank's still going really well and it's all looking really good. Like I say, just got a bit of Aptasia and a bit of turf algae, but other than that, I'm yeah, really impressed, really impressed. Yeah, I love this tank and I love watching it before I go to sleep. It's been really nice, kind of relaxing, especially with everything that's going on at the moment. When your mind's going, it's a very nice thing to have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get a few more updates on out. I've got quite a lot going on, some exciting things, so yeah, I'm going to crack on. I'm going to pull my finger out and yeah, I'm going to get on with it. So I'll stop waffling, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.